Well, I think we should be live now. Hi, Joshua here. And I was thinking this morning that I don't know if I'm the only one that seems to struggle with the quote unquote, what's your why? What's your passion? What's your reason to, be inspired? Your what's the other popular term? What is it? Anyway, I think you get the drift. And my friend Randy Gage calls it your assignment. And I've had many answers to that over the years, and it's evolved and it changes, and it's not like it's some one cosmic thing. Although I do see some commonalities through it when I look in on it, and I'd like to share with you kind of what my answer to that is personally for today, because it might be empowering to you. It might be inspirational to you. So here's how I keep myself on course. And here's basically what at the present moment, what my mission is, what my vision is for my bigger future, and what I'm looking to accomplish in the world so that I can not die with regrets, and to feel good that I'm actually, when I look at my life, that my life is not more than, that I've become less than what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing here. And I want to break this down for you. I don't know if you could read it or not, but what I have for my why, my reason for getting out of bed and ripping back the covers and to keep going when things get tough, it is to empower others to boldly mold their unprecedented bigger future. And there is key. Yours, not mine, not somebody else's. Their unprecedented bigger future that's full of meaningful impact and satisfying success according to your yardstick, whatever that yardstick is for you that you say it is. Then to have it be, then that is successful, in other words. And to simply be able to do it, the energy is, or the words are, because I said so, right? And there's a lot to this, at least to me, in terms of what I feel when I'm getting in touch with the music behind the words for me. So there's like basically three big concepts or ideas or music, if you will, that I'd like to unpack with you, so that you understand what I'm feeling when I say that. Number one is the word unprecedented. Simply put, unprecedented means a bigger future that hasn't yet ever been in existence before. It's something that's bold, it's big, there is no evidence that you can point to and say it's possible. And so, of course, it feels a little scary and risky, because you don't know whether it's possible or not, because it is unprecedented if you're looking towards that. But if that's something that inspires you and you feel like you're working towards something, then, as my friend Colin Collard once said to me, I'm okay dying on that mountain. And for me, when he said that to me, it was like, wow, so what you're saying is that even if you don't reach the summit, you're okay doing that it was inspiring to you, that it was a worthwhile pursuit in your estimation for you, that it's okay if you don't make it to the top. It was exciting. Now, of course, we want to achieve it. We want to accomplish it. We want to make it happen. We want to live that unprecedented bigger future. Then the second big piece here that I'd like to unpack is a meaningful and satisfying success, meaningful momentum, meaningful impact that you say is meaningful. Like, in other words, that you're making your mark on the world, you're making your contributions to the world in your way, and that you say it's meaningful, that you can get in touch with that, and that you feel good about it, and that you're not judging yourself based on somebody else's expectations, or you're not waiting for validation. You're not waiting for approval or permission to move forward, that you grant yourself that validation, that permission. And also, speaking of validation, if you're truly working on something unprecedented, then there is no validation. You're the one that's going to validate it or not. You're the one that's going to create that. And then other people that are going to be following in your footsteps, they'll look to you and what you've done to say, yes, it's possible. Here's the evidence to support that it is possible. And so I think it's really important to, when you're talking about meaningful and satisfying to you, it's about your yardstick, and it's about your choice, your decision for freedom, and what that means to you, because we all have different perceptions and different definitions of what it means to us. And I think it's really important that you're living according to what's right for you, what feels right in your space and time. And then the third thing that I'd like to unpack today is this concept of because I said so. And also, I guess what ties into living that unprecedented bigger future is this concept of being unconditional. And let's just kind of dive a little bit deeper into what I mean by unconditional. It means that you're not waiting for conditions to exist, for something to look a certain way, be a certain way, for circumstances or conditions or a particular situation to show up in order for you to be able to start boldly molding your bigger future. It means that you're boldly getting in the game and you're not waiting for conditions. And I think a lot of us talk about being unconditional, like unconditional love, or I'm not attached to things, quote unquote. And in that way, I don't think we're really looking at the true meaning, at least what I feel when I think about the true meaning of being unconditional, is that it's just simply, I'm not waiting for conditions. I'm going to create my own conditions. And again, you can't be conditional if you're looking to boldly mold an unprecedented bigger future, something that inspires you, that goes beyond the motivation of the moment, that can quickly fade, but can inspire you to keep going through those kind of tough times. And there's 3 levels of what it takes to be unconditional. On 3 levels, right? And the reason why it takes being unconditional is that in order to boldly start molding your clay, it takes the guts, if you will, the courage to say, well, right now, regardless of what my current circumstances are, regardless of what my current situation is, I'm going to start where I am right now and boldly mold it, not wait for conditions to look a certain way. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that it takes being unconditional, takes guts, it takes that drive, but not in a harsh beat 'em up type of way, but from an inspired action standpoint from within you. It takes being unconditional to continue molding the clay when the first editions of it, the first iterations of it, don't produce the results that you hoped that it would, or that you had anticipated that it would, or quote unquote, that you fail. In other words, it didn't show up, the results that you were hoping for, that you didn't get in the time frame that you were hoping to get it there. So it takes being unconditional to say, maybe I have to adjust this, maybe I have to mold it a different way than where it was when I first started going. So that's the second area. And then the third area is to allow yourself and allow your creation that you're boldly molding to evolve, to change, to become even bigger or different, and not be so dialed in, if you will, to having it look a certain way, which is conditional, right? Like it has to look this way and define this meaning and those types of things. And so if you can let it evolve and you can mold it, and maybe it does, maybe you don't summit that mountain, but maybe along the way you see a different path that takes you in a different direction, that you summit in that other mountain. And then that it evolves into something bigger. So that it takes guts, it takes being unconditional to let your creation, let your vision unfold into what it's going to be and where it's going to go, and to not let it be limited by other people's opinions, their vision, or their fears. And sometimes people in our lives that we're closest to want things to look a certain way so that they can feel better, and so that they project that onto us. And well, I mean, I think you can guess what my opinion is of that. I mean, you can love them and let them have and be where they are, and that's fine. But you don't have to succumb to that. And I think the last thing that I'll leave you with is this. When you're thinking about a unprecedented, bigger future that gives you hope, that fills you with excitement and a little bit of apprehension because you've never been there before and you're not sure if it's going to go. You don't know whether you can actually create it. That the only reason it's a bigger, unprecedented future that you haven't lived before is because those are a set of conditions that you haven't yet created in your life. But once you create them, they are a set of conditions that now exist, and then it becomes a situation of it's no longer unprecedented. You're now living the results. Anyway, that's my profound thought for the day, and that's what I'm driven to do for myself and for others. And it means to live from that unprecedented bold molder standpoint, where I'm going out there and creating something and helping others to unleash their own inner bold molder, whatever that means for them, so that they can escape their status quo, not anybody else's definition or what they think, somebody else should say to them of their status quo, so that you can feel inspired and get on with your life and your day, and be working towards something that you feel is an ideal pursuit or a worthy pursuit. And with that, let's call it a wrap. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.